How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today I come to you with a question. Are you buying this whole Bubba Wallace noose in the garage stall at Talladega Speedway story? Are you buying that story? Now, I'm not asking you to say if the story is true or false definitively. I'm just asking, do you really believe in the story? Do you think that the story is true? Do you think it's false? How do you feel about the story? Because all we have right now is how we feel. We have conjecture. We don't really have facts. We have an alleged noose found in the garage stall that's given to NASCAR. I think FBI are investigating. We don't have any conclusions yet, but how does the story feel to you? Now, to me, it feels fake. It feels totally phony. It feels like we've been here before. Like we've seen stories about nooses and hate crimes and racially motivated attacks that have turned out to not be true or to be exaggerated, like wildly exaggerated. Okay, the obvious name that comes to my mind is Jussie Smollett. That's the obvious parallel. But before I go down that road and into that rabbit hole, I got to back up a little bit here to give you the context, just so we're on the same page with each other. Now, Bubba Wallace is a biracial male who is seen as black, and he's seen as the only black NASCAR driver. Over the past few weeks or days, I've gotten to know a little bit about him because he's been out there with Black Lives Matter. Like, it's like he's sponsored by Black Lives Matter. You understand what I'm saying? He has on a Black Lives Matter t-shirt, the Black Lives Matter car. He's been speaking about, black this, black this. So he's been like the Black Lives Matter unofficial spokesperson in NASCAR, which is kind of crazy. He was also the guy that spearheaded the effort to eliminate the Confederate flag from being flown at NASCAR speedways. Okay, so that's that. Now, in the midst of all this happening with the Floyd and Breonna Taylor and all this and that, Rayshard Brooks and the protests and the statue removal and the Confederate flag removal and Black Lives Matter, allegedly, one of his team members found a noose in his garage stall at Talladega Speedway. Now, Bubba didn't see it, but the person that found it told him about it, and they told NASCAR, and you have FBI down there investigating the whole thing. Is it a hate crime? What's going on? Now, as a result of this, there's been a crazy reaction from the mainstream media, a crazy reaction from NASCAR. Matter of fact, I'll place NASCAR's reaction on the screen before you. What they're doing right here is pushing his car to the front in Talladega in a symbolic way. Okay, you have a bunch of drivers, pit crew, everybody. Richard Petty came out there. Yes, Richard Petty came out there, gave him a hug, and it was a really kind of cringy thing. They had like soft music playing in the background, and they're giving them like real close-up shots, taking pictures. He's crying. I'm like, what am I seeing here? Am I seeing an ad? Am I seeing a NASCAR diversity ad? One that says, we stand with Black Lives Matter, we're progressive, please don't sue us, please don't cancel us. Is that what I'm seeing? It was really, really kind of cringy to see. Now, like I said, I'm not sitting here saying that the story is true or false. I don't know. It seems like it seems fishy, but it may or may not be true. I'm not even discussing that as far as the cringe that I saw pushing the car forward. To me, that was just kind of over the top. Okay. You could say you want the guy that did this to get brought to justice. If there's any, body that did it, if it's not a hoax, you want it to get resolved. And if there's a crime that's been committed, lock the person up. Okay, fine. But this whole thing that they're doing with pushing the car to the front, I'm like, all right, man, that's kind of just a little over the top to me. That's just my opinion. So I digress. My whole point is that NASCAR are making a really big effort to, capitalize on this maybe, and also to get beyond it, to make it seem like they're not a racist organization like some people think. I never thought of NASCAR as a racist organization. The whole Confederate flag thing, to me, that wasn't really a big deal. Now, what the media are going to say is that there was a large Confederate flag, I guess you would call it, gathering for this particular race in Talladega, Alabama. But what you got to understand is the reason why they did that is because it got banned. All right. You can't fly the Confederate flag like on the actual speedway, but you could fly it on your car driving. You could be outside with the flag. You understand? So they're just kind of protesting against that. And one lady actually answered the question about why guys are doing that, why you got to fly the Confederate flag. And what she said made sense. She was like, well, It's just the good old redneck boys flying the flag. And that's pretty much how it is. We all know about NASCAR culture. It ain't nothing wrong with the good old redneck boys flying the Confederate flag. If they want to do that, that's fine. Everybody knows the kind of culture of NASCAR. It's not really that big of a deal. Now, if it's like, being hostile towards black people, that's something different. But I've never seen anything like that from a NASCAR driver. Have you ever seen like a Dale Earnhardt fan, beat somebody black to death or hang them or something like that? You don't see that. That's not common. Okay. Usually they live in mostly white areas in the country that's not super rich. Like I was born in West Virginia. Okay, so I know about poor white people or people that kind of have that NASCAR culture. They might not even be poor, but they're not really concerned with anything else other than, their family and themselves, as most people are in America. And there shouldn't be a real push to get NASCAR like more diverse. The culture is what it is. It's the same thing with the NBA. The NBA, it's a black sport. It's 80-90% black. And if you want to play in the NBA as a white guy, you pretty much got to get acclimated to that whole thing. Like my man from West Virginia, White Chocolate. That's funny because they call him White Chocolate from West Virginia. You see, the culture is more similar than dissimilar, but different story. I digress. My whole point is that if you want to be in that kind of environment, if you want to be in that sport, you got to adapt to the culture. Simple. Okay, you have a black culture. Doesn't mean that it's going to be harmful to people. No. Same thing with the white culture, the Southern culture. It's not necessarily harmful. It just is what it is. But back to Bubba. This whole thing, it just reeks of Jussie Smollett. I'm sorry. Like I said, I don't know if this is true, if it's false. I have no clue. But it seems like Jussie Smollett 2.0. What was the story in his case? Isn't he biracial, Jussie Smollett? I mean, I think so. I'm not really sure. But he appears like he is. Like, if you see him, you might kind of doubt if he's black or not. Same thing with Bubba Wallace. Is he black? Is he Hispanic or the Middle Eastern? What's going on? So you might have kind of a racial thing. You're trying to prove your blackness. That's the first thing. Second thing is you want to get some kind of attention for whatever the reason may be. I'm just giving out, possible scenarios, not conclusions. In Jussie's case, he was trying to get more money for his TV show. He was trying to get to a level of martyrdom or stardom through this whole thing. With Bubba, it could be a similar thing. You getting attention for having the Black Lives Matter shirt, Black Lives Matter. If you drive in NASCAR, a sport that's dominated is white Southern, and you come out there with the Black Lives Matter stuff, that's not really you're going to get a lot of attention, positive or negative, okay? And you do this thing here with the noose, that's going to heighten it more, and you capitalize on it. I mean, come on. This is Jussie Smollett 2.0, in my humble opinion. Like I said, I could be dead wrong. I have no idea. I'm just giving you how I feel about the situation right now. Now, the facts are limited. All they said was that they found the noose in the garage, and that's it. I've not seen the noose. I've seen the garage. I'll place that on the screen before you. A theory here is that the pull cord in the garage was cut and then placed on his car, because they're saying that the pull cord was tied up into a knot, so you could just pull it down with your hand like that. You got a better grip on it rather than just the straight cord. You see, like on the other stall, number 5, you see just a straight cord hanging down, and in 4, you see where the cord probably got cut where there was a knot. So they could have put that right there on top of the car. Who knows? Okay, there's cameras everywhere, so there's got to be camera footage. They're talking about, the cameras might not be there because of the virus. All right, the cameras have to be there because you're talking about a lot of tools, a lot of equipment, the car itself. You can have a guy go in there that knows anything about cars and manipulate the car to malfunction while you on the track, and you might mess around and crash to the wall and die or get seriously injured because of what somebody did to your car in the garage. And you wouldn't know anything about it because they can make it seem like it was your fault rather than just the car having to malfunction, or rather than the car being tampered with. So you got to have cameras in there, regardless of whether it's a virus or no virus. You're going to be out there driving, people's lives on the line in these cars. So you got to have the cameras working. So we're going to see, or at least we should, and if we don't, it'd be a problem, some camera footage, and we're going to see the actual noose itself. We're going to see all of that. But for right now, my humble opinion is that this is Jussie Smollett 2.0. I hope that it is true, because if it's not true, then I will never believe a story like this again. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that I made my case about the story probably being fake, probably being phony? And have I given you a reason why I'm doubting it? Like I said, Jussie Smollett, he was a guy, like, he has made it bad for other people. I said it back when it happened. After this case of Jussie Smollett, people that may have actual legitimate hate crimes or racially motivated attacks committed against them are going to be doubted. How can I not doubt it? I have to doubt it after Jussie Smollett. Okay. Do you think that the story is going to be true? Is going to be false? How do you feel about the reaction from NASCAR and the mainstream media and everybody else? Is the story of the noose really that deep? Is it that bad? I mean, you get heckled, you get negative things that are done to you. You get people that call you all kind of names and stuff like that. Is it that bad to where you got to have the whole community rally behind you? Everybody's crying. Is it like that? I mean, the reaction was like if somebody got killed on a track. That's kind of how serious it was. Is it that deep? A noose, a racist thing that's done to you, that's not good. But is it to the point where you're going to need people to console you because you're crying? I mean, I don't know. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.